Welcome back. As usual, today we are gonna have a look at the Bitcoin situation. After this, I will make a follow-up on the scalping strategy I proposed in the previous video. There I make some mistakes, but also got some learnings, which is what's the most important. Then we are gonna have a look at the market leaders, how they are doing. And finally, I would like to show you an interesting investing opportunity where the price seems just right to buy in. Let's get started. First, we have Bitcoin. We had another dip all the way until 9,500. As I said, I placed a trade on the previous support here. You see the spikes? The lesson to learn here is that this is actually noise. If I had placed my long trade at 9,600, I would have gotten all the take profits right. So the lesson to learn here is if we have a support which is relatively strong, like the one at 9,600, and we want to enter long, it's better to use that than to wait the one even below, which of course gives a higher opportunity. But at the same time, it could also be a lost opportunity. On the side of a more mid-term position, as you know, I have opened a series of long positions starting from 9,800 until 10,200. So in this area, and I'm still long because as you can see here in the last few days we are actually seeing higher lows. You can see this here. So here we are at 9,000. We go up, and we are still up. Yep. So this is actually a bullish sign, especially because if you see this big spike, there has been an important rejection here. So a lot of buyers coming in, pushing the price up, and this is actually likely going to give a price a further pump. Then who knows if you are going down. If we go down, I will be considering closing my long position here at the previous support, just to cover any losses. But I will also try to take some profits here at the next resistances around 10,100, 10,500, and so on. Following up on my scalping strategy, as I was suggesting, the idea is to identify this level of supports and resistances. So in this case, this is one of those. So around 10,050. And this is a point where I could enter, place a take profit just, enter long, place a take profit just above to secure some profits, and then move the stop loss there. And then the other take profits a bit up, here and here, for example. What I did wrong here is that, so the price was around 9600, 97, 98 when I placed a short and a long order. What happened is that the resistance around the 10k was broken. My long entered and then it retraced almost immediately. I made a mistake to put another scalp short on the support here at 9600. And actually this varied my Bitmex position. So what happens basically is that so for example, say that you buy $100 worth of BTC at 10k. Your stop, if this long trade is unsuccessful, could be 9.5k. But then if you have another short position, so this time is short, not long, at say for example 9.7k, and it's going to be short, this is actually going to pile up on the previous order, and this second position, the stop could be for example at 10k itself. So what happens is that at 10k we add plus 100 on our position. At 9.7k we remove 100. So basically we buy high and sell low. That's a very bad idea, right? And these positions cancel each other, so the result is 0. What we obtain here is that instead of opening a short after a long, we are closing the long with the short. So the lesson to learn here is make sure that there is no overlap. So for example, if we have a stop at 9.5k for the long position, we ensure that the short position is at the very least below that, so 9.4k. In this case, instead of these positions cancelling each other, what we obtain is open long position, close long, open short, close short, which in this case would have been a win. And we can see it from here, because if we opened a short here at 9.6k, we would have been able to ride it at least until 9.5. And as usual, I try to put the first take profit as close as possible to the entry. So then I move the stop loss there, sorry, and take profits home. Another important thing is that while I was analyzing this trade, I realized that on top of leaving some margin between the spikes and the entry point, so for example the spikes and the entry point, it's you always take the spikes into account. You don't start from here. You start from the spikes, you add some margin, you enter long, and you stay long. And you take profits as soon as possible. because we can see there are a lot of market structures that, for example, this one, we have a spike here up and the equivalent spike here down. So this is actually where the price split is happening between the support and the resistance at 9.9K approximately. Moving to the other market leaders, we are still looking at Ethereum. We can see that we dropped a lot, but we are actually stabilizing around $184. So we are actually around this support that I had identified, and I placed my stop below that, even though I'm currently in loss because I ended at 208, not expecting this significant drop of Bitcoin. So we'll see how this goes. Then we have US, which is another one of my long-term positions, a project that has been doing great things, and people are still building the platform and dApps on top of the platform, which is a good sign for adoption. They also have a lot of user-friendly adoption, like usernames. So for example, just imagine that instead of sending to a complicated address like this, you are actually sending to my account, which is very handy, and it also makes less mistakes. So what we can see also on EOS, that we are in a similar situation to Ethereum on the support, and actually in the past $4 or let's say around $4 has been a significant turning point. We can see this pump here, and how the price lateralized, went up, and then is back here. We can see also there is a significant volume in the VPVR since the beginning of the year. So this support is actually quite strong, and if it's broken, that's a very bad sign. And I think I will be closing some of my position there, long-term position. Then just a quick look to Binance Coin, which is also another big project. Binance is doing wonders, is the most popular crypto exchange on the planet at this time, I believe. At least of the ones with good reputation. Yeah, we can see that also here we are on this support around $27. And I would say the point of no return could be between $25 and $26, because then we could actually slip way down to $20 or $18 even. We were also looking at this triangle on Monero, which, even though it was temporarily broken on the downside, as I was pointing out, there is this trend line, it's actually recovering. But what's interesting to see here is that versus the dollar, it's actually following the trend line very, very nicely. So it went down and it went up again very fast.